Well, hi there, Internet. My name's Court, and you've got courtside seats for my review of Ralph Breaks the Internet. Let's do it! Ralph Breaks the Internet is an animated adventure comedy from directors Phil Johnston and Rich Moore and Disney. The sequel to Wreck-It Ralph stars John C. Reilly, Sarah Silverman, Gal Godot, Taraji P. Henson, Jack McBrayer, Jane Lynch, and Bill Hader. 6 years after the events of Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph and Vanellope, now friends, discover a Wi-Fi router in their arcade, leading them into a new adventure. So I never got around to seeing Wreck-It Ralph when it came out, so I decided earlier this week it would be part of my due diligence to get around to watching it before I saw the sequel. And I gotta say, I loved it. It was fantastic. So I was really psyched to see Ralph Breaks the Internet. And while I would say it's not as good as the first one, it's really, really good. As I said, the first one does hold a slight advantage, but one thing I think the second one does better is I think it's actually a little bit more inventive. The way it personifies the internet is really clever and incredibly funny. As I said, 6 years have passed both in the real world and in the movie world, but the characters are pretty much as we remember them. Ralph is as bumbling and lovable as ever, and can we talk about John C. Reilly's voice for a second? That man's voice is a national treasure. He could read to me dishwasher instructions and I would be laughing my head off. Vanellope is still really precocious. She's maybe even cuter in this movie than she was in the first. She's just like absurdly adorable. And while Ralph's name is in the title, I would say that this movie is really more Vanellope's story. Now we have a couple of newcomers in this film. We have Bill Hader, who plays this kind of greasy salesman, and he's fantastic because I love Bill Hader. He's hilarious. And then Gal Godot comes in, who plays Shank, who is sort of a sisterly character to Vanellope. And I like Gal Godot. I don't think she's one of the all-time great actresses, but she's perfectly serviceable in this film. It's interesting to note there isn't really an antagonist in this movie. There are some shady characters, but there's no big bad. I guess if there is an antagonist, it's really just a ticking clock. That's neither good nor bad, just an observation. Now there is a sequence, indulge me if you will, there is a sequence where Vanellope ends up in this really violent racing game. And it happens really, really quickly, but I'm pretty sure I noticed a direct reference to the video game Grand Theft Auto 3. There is a scene where the cars are drifting around this roundabout with a restaurant in the middle, and I think it looked almost exactly like this, which I'm going to put up on the screen. If you played GTA 3, you might remember this from the first stage of Liberty City. So if you haven't seen the movie yet and you're going and you remember the game, keep an eye out for that and maybe come back and tell me if I'm onto something or if I'm simply have lost my marbles. Thanks. I will also say the Disney princesses are in this movie and they are amazing. They're hilarious. I'm not going to tell you anything because it would be doing you a disservice, but they're fantastic. And I think a lot of them, I think most of them were voiced by the original actresses who voiced them, except for the ones who are, of course, dead. The only negatives that I have with this movie were this film really recycled a lot of beats from the first one, so a lot of things feel really kind of familiar in a way that I don't think was necessary. I also think the movie was maybe 10 minutes longer than it needed to be. Not that I was bored at any point, I wasn't, but it's almost 2 hours, and for really little kids, that might get a little bit much. Overall, I loved this movie. It is hilarious. It is filled with heart. It's clever. It's fun. I got choked up at the end, as I always do. So yeah, I recommend it. Now, I don't have a proprietary rating system as of yet, so I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to give Ralph Breaks the Internet. And I think I'm going to give Ralph Breaks the Internet a...
Dad, Nancy, it's bad. It's so bad. There's blood everywhere. The bunk beds were a terrible idea. Why did you let us do that? It's so bad!
Out of 10. So now I want to know, have you seen Ralph Breaks the Internet? What did you think about it? Who is your favorite Disney princess of all time? Whatever your thoughts in the comments below, let's discuss. If you enjoyed this review, please smash that like button and give it a share if you really enjoyed it. And hey, why not take a second, do me a favor, click subscribe and ring that bell to subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, entertainment news, trailer reactions, all that good stuff. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.